My name's Rhapsody, welcome back to Disco Elysium. Alright, let's get away from that. Hang on, do you have anything to say about the fact that,
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it.
No, you have nothing to say about the fact that Joyce just left. Okie dokie. So I do have a new think to think. Do I? No, wait, hang on. I apparently don't have a think to think. Fine. I'm gonna go to Evrart to report, hey, Joyce has left. Everything's fine now. Also, Joyce was a member of the board of Wild Pines, but everything is fine now. It's fine. I promise. Literally, basically, just so I can see if he's gonna do anything like, oh, Harry, oh, I'm really glad you've done that for me, Harry. Thank you, Harry. Here's all the prizes. Whereas in reality, I expect, you told her my plan, Harry. I told you you could, but I wish you hadn't, Harry. I'm gonna have to kill you now. Somehow I feel like that one's more likely. Or rather, I'm gonna have to have someone else kill you now. Let's see. Also, I guess I can check if the thing is defrosted while we're here, but, you know, I'd be very surprised had it. I probably just spend a little bit of time in a book in the middle of this episode. Yeah, probably spend some time in the book. Just to skip forward to when pigs will be there to confront. I also need to try and figure out what outfit I should wear into that confrontation as well. Somehow I feel like this one's just not really gonna cut it. I really wish I could get my expression back as well, because, oof, that's a sour demeanor, friend.
Oh, hey, mister.
No, I'm never gonna tell him to shorten that up. Never. I like how verbose he is. I like how friendly he is. Alright.
So, the ship has sailed. Did you see it? I know you did. Tell me, what did it look like as it grew smaller and smaller, when that mainsail dropped behind the horizon?
There's a mean little light in his eyes.
Did it look like a germ? Did it look like a piece of bacteria?
His tone is totally different now. The jolly man of the people is gone, and so is the smile. You get a sinking feeling. No, it looked like a boat sailing away from the coast. No need to be overly dramatic. You wanted us to relay all this information to her. The lieutenant cuts in. Is that what this is? Sorry. That this is a takeover and that I want a war? He nods forcefully. God, I also hope you told her about the drug trade. They absolutely hate getting their hands dirty with that. You can kill 1 million people, but if you do something the police doesn't like, well, then you're out of a yacht club. A vein on his forehead is pulsating. Goodbye, you inhuman fuck. So this was your plan all along for me to relay information to her. Now I know why you've been so forthcoming. Now I know why you've been so forthcoming. No, no, Harry, what we have is real. We're working men. This here, he taps his chest, then points to you, is real. So this was your plan all along, for me to relay the information to her. Harry, he exhales slowly, I can't see into the future. We're all playing by ear on this planet. I had no idea she'd act so strongly. But you did want me to relay info to her. I mean, he told us multiple times, do it. I did. I knew the negotiations would go better with police officers telling them the horror stories from inside the harbour. It's scarier this way. Turns out it was a magnificent strategy. I never thought it'd so fundamentally fuck her up. How do you know she left? Harry, I bugged a cabin. I bugged a whole boat. I had cameras surveying a boat. Hell, I even wanted to bug that thermal cup, but my boys advised against it. So you've been listening to our conversations all the time? Not me personally. He stretches his arms out like a discus thrower. I had guys recording and processing the information for me. The Hardy Boys. Hell no, he exclaims. They'd fuck it up. They can't do anything right. I mean, my real boys. My special task force boys.
Where are these boys?
They sure as hell aren't hanging out in the open with beers in their hands for the cops to question. They're pros, Mr. Kutsuragi.
I mean, you used me, but also I was like playing into and then off of your... That's wild how you got me to do all that stuff. Thanks for letting me play a part, Evrart, or you used me. I think it's fair for me to say you used me, because I did actually recommend that she leave the harbor alone. You used me.
Harry, you made a conscious decision to relay information to her. You could have kept it to yourself.
You used my intellectual curiosity against me, but she told me a beautiful story about the discovery of the insulinda. But she said she's insane, like me. But that was at the end of everything, after I told her. You used my intellectual curiosity against me. I mean, that's me speaking as the player, right? Tempting me to find out what her reaction would be to giving her the information and saying that you wouldn't hold a grudge if I gave her the information, to me is like, oh, well, I can get that information for free, and I want to know what it is. It is literally using my intellectual curiosity against me. You use my intellectual curiosity against me.
Against you. He's taken aback. Oh, Harry, I'd like to think I used it for you.
Was interesting. No arguing against that. But she told me a story, she told me a beautiful story about the discovery of the insulinda.
Of course she did. Rich people have the best stories. About all the interesting things they've done and seen, all the beautiful places they've been to. It's just sentimentalism. She can afford to be sentimental, and she can afford to lose as well.
It saddens him that she can. Sours it. But only the tiny bit. But she said she's insane, like me.
She's not insane. What'd she tell you?
His expression betrays extreme skepticism. She told me she's overradiated from Pale Transit.
No, she's not, he scoffs. She's a sentimental alcoholic. They all are. Never take a drop. Never take a drop and you'll be 8 laps ahead of those upper class winos. Just like Mr. Clare here. Try it. You'll be a real super detective.
Oh, fuck off, I don't drink more than everyone else. That's actually good advice, I might. I've walked the path of sobriety for a while now. If that's what it takes, I'll do it for the working class. I mean... Ooh, that is interesting, because this is like a vice and virtue being played off one another for my character. My character being an alcoholic, but also being a staunch man of the working class. I'm gonna say, if that's what it'll take, I'll do it for the working class.
Don't just say it, Harry. Do it.
He wags his finger at you.
We gotta be more disciplined than they are, or we'll lose.
So what's gonna happen now?
What was going to happen? What was always going to happen? We take the harbour and she fucks off to Ozone, uncorks a bottle of wine, calls her partner and says they need to distance themselves from this big nasty business before the big shit spinner splashes everyone. Only difference is the Union doesn't have to lose 2,000 men to machine gun fire.
That is... or that was a huge goal of mine in directing Joyce's actions in the last episode. In particular, how to express this? There are second order and third order effects of any of the things that I told her to do. But the first order effects of people will literally die if you suggest this. Even if in the long run, the world would be better, I as a person am incapable of making that decision. So in those circumstances, I still take the path of least resistance, the path of least death, even if it runs against what I believe. Thankfully, I got to align them. broadly. I still don't like Evrart, but better than I like Wild Pines. Not better than I like Joyce, but better than I like Wild Pines. Could've just told me I'd be on board. Damn, Evrart. I was hoping I'd somehow get to fuck you over in the end, not the other way around. But I swore fealty to her. She was my beautiful lead. I have a bad taste in my mouth. You better make sure this ends up saving lives. Yeah, literally that. I have a bad taste in my mouth. You better make sure this ends up saving lives. Yeah, it will, Harry. That it will. A sincere smile crosses his face. As to the bad taste, please. You're not Somalia. You're a cop. You knew something. Something big. And you wanted to see what happens when you tell someone. So you told her. Anyone who's ever been close to power will tell you. Inside information is the sweetest thing in the world. It's better than money. It's better than pussy. Money only makes you sentimental, makes you special for some salesmen. Pussy only makes you special for yourself. Information makes you special to all mankind. It's the ticket to history. I'm gonna just that one. I don't have anything to say about it. I'm gonna Right on, Harry. What you did was a participation in history. When history calls, you have to pick up. You had no choice. None of us ever do. A hard disco cop like you, I knew you weren't one to resist temptation. You know what, detective? I'm going to have to leave this out of my report, and I suggest you to leave it out of yours as well. He chuckles. Just look at us. The three careless boyaderos. Good times, good times. So what now? Now? There's a whole lot of work to do. For me and you. I suppose there was a reason you came here, so let's get to it. What can I help my best friend and comrade with today? I can't tell you. I think I'm never a step ahead of him, apparently. I can't say anything about that. No information on this one. Evrart, I'm going to leave. Might want to talk to you later. Fair enough. Yeah, a little bit of experience there. Hang on, let's have a look at what that thinks. Yeah, the things are going okay. Well, that about wraps up that storyline. So I think I do basically at this point just want to go and read a book. Because reading books apparently helps pass time. I'm gonna read my ledger. See if there's anything that I can do with the ledger at this point that would actually help. Yeah, it's definitely passing time quickly for us. Alright. We got Wasteland of Reality. Hang on. Gotta put the ledger away so I can actually get my think. Wasteland of Reality. Oh, this probably would have been really good to talk to Joyce with. Congrats. You're sober. It'll take a while for your body to remember how to metabolize anything that isn't sugar from alcohol, but... So you're gonna be pretty ravenous soon. Eat. Plenty. You can expect your coordination and balance to improve in a couple of weeks. After 2 months, you might start sleeping like a normal person. Full recovery will take years, though. It'll be depressing. And boring. Don't expect any further rewards or handicaps. This is how normal people are. All the time. So I got -1 to physical instrument, plus and negative to Inland Empire and suggestion, but I got +1 to psyche? So I think that's all of my psyche skills basically have a +1 as a result of that. If they do, that's pretty good. Yeah, just +1 across the board to psyche. So it lowered my Inland Empire. And something else. Inland Empire and... Suggestion, right? Because I'm boring. Ugh. But it also then re-increased it because my psyche is now base 6. So those two negatives are completely removed effectively. But I do lose 1 in physical instrument due to insomnia. Okay. I think that's fine. I mean, these skills are all now pretty dang high, especially my empathy. By the time I get to the other area where Pigs is, the fish market in particular, I should, fingers crossed, hope willing, or rather it should be late enough for me to start the encounter. Which means that I should start thinking about my clothing. Apparently, she's wild as hell. I'm never going to put up a physical challenge. That's just not going to happen. I'm going to need to find a way to think my way out of it or talk my way out of it. Okay. What would be my best hat? Probably the Fallen Pipo for the +2 logic for a -1 perception. Am I okay with no perception? Get some encyclopedia going on with these. Jacket is drama and electrochemistry. Shivers seems like it actually might be useful when talking to her. Gloves. Oh, obviously another one that we want to put on is the cuirass. Okay. Wish I could find more of the armor. These mask rogues. I'm gonna go with the -1 encyclopedia for the +1 to reaction speed and hand-eye coordination. I mean, I almost have like a full Fallen set. Fallen Ultra, Fallen. I don't have a Fallen hat. I don't think I have Fallen pants yet. But possibly. At some point. All of my pants are pretty bad as well, though. This one's +1 to reaction speed without giving me anything else, at least. Without giving a downside in particular. And I've got to continue wearing the horrific necktie. Because it is gearing up for the end game. And I was told not to take it off until it does. Not by comments or anything like that, by a task, actually. So alcohol no longer affects our character. That's extremely interesting. I mean, it's interesting that after that conversation, immediately after that conversation, I finished that thought. Super useful. Also, these people should disband.
Right to work! Right to work! Shit.
I already solved the whole thing. I sorted it out with Joyce. Okay. All the way down. Roy. There's nothing I'd find important. Is there anything in this that'll tell me enough about pigs? Someone's been running around pretending to be police officer. Nothing. I guess there's the possibility that Esprit de Corps will help. Good thing I'm wearing my Esprit de Corps jacket, actually. Yeah, hang on. Can't run through the reeds, unfortunately. I imagine reaction speed is going to be pretty important as well, so that's why I've got 2 pieces of equipment on for the reaction speed buff. I also should talk to the kids again at some point, just so that I can see if it's possible for me to give them that toy. I didn't check if Suna's thing was defrosted yet. That's my bad. Alright. It's not late enough yet, and I really thought the time was going to pass a little faster than that, so let's read a book. That doesn't count. Okay, primer for small kids. Kim, I know the alphabet now. all of that didn't really advance the time much at all. Let's go back to the Ledger of Failure and Hatred and read a case file again. Okay, we're done. I can revisit this, put it away. Cool. You up here? No, this is just the dock. Maybe I have to unload and reload this area for it to actually happen. Because I'm not seeing anyone around. So how would I unload and reload this area? Where's the church in comparison? Oh, it's okay. It's down there. Cool. Church isn't that far. We'll just enter and exit the church immediately. I kind of feel like, who would Pigs be, possibly? You know what? Pigs is not going to be anyone we've encountered, I don't think. When a character is introduced with a pseudonym this late in the game, you best believe I think that maybe I've seen him before. Maybe they're just being reintroduced.
Put your hands where I can see them.
The aging woman under a mountain of police paraphernalia mumbles to herself and then notices you reach for the megaphone. And reaches for the megaphone, rather.
Show me your hands. This is the pigs. Show me your hands. Right now! Show me your hands right now!
Scavenged battery-powered police lights protrude from her back. The flickering light show reveals a gun in her shaking hand. Her hand is trembling from some sort of neurodegenerative disease.
Madame, please drop the firearm immediately.
Show me your hands right now. I'm gonna raise my hands. She's pointing a gun at us.
The man appears to be pulling out an object from his pocket. Fear under threat! Fear under threat! Superseding event. Split-second decision. Get on the ground. Get on the goddamn ground!
I can't play into her delusion. Ma'am, we just want to talk to you.
Subject yourself to a full body cavity search. Prohibited materials concealed in nostrils, ears, mouth, navel, urethra, foreskin, vagina, and rectum.
In her mind, the cavity search is happening, as long as she's saying it. It appears the things she says are very real to her.
Be careful, detective. Don't do anything that might set her off.
I'll be careful, Kim. This situation looks bad. Calm yourself. Steady your breathing. Hand-eye coordination time. Oh. You'll have to go for the gun sooner or later. Perhaps you can learn crucial facts before you do. We can solve this peacefully. Please lower the weapon. Officer in need of assistance! Her eyes dart between you and Kim. Suspect at large! Get on the ground! Ma'am, please. The lieutenant is trying to maintain eye contact. We want to help you, but you need to lower the weapon. Let's just talk, alright? Disturbance reported! Authorized deadly force! Sector, take the shot! Her head snaps at you. Big red key! Big red key! Big red key? That's code for the battering ram. Cop talk, you know this. What's happened to make her like this? Loneliness. Yeah, sure. But also in a less abstract way than neurodegenerative disease I mentioned earlier. No information on that. Alright. Ma'am, we're here to help. Tell us what's wrong. The woman looks at you, but looks through you, like you don't even exist. Her eyes gleam feverishly, and the rotating police beacon lights reveal deep scratch marks on her cheeks. Recent. Self-inflicted. This is the police! She howls through a megaphone. Unlawful engagement! Hands on the ground, scumbag! So, this is what the weather's like on the other end of a cop's gun? I mean, she thinks it's happening. I feel like maybe I should try and comply. I hear you, ma'am. Look, start slowly bending over. Hands going on the ground. The lieutenant's eyes stay fixed on the woman and her gun. He studies them closely, then mumbles. Fascinating. See? He glances at you. This is what happens when we're not around. Please identify yourself, ma'am. It's the goddamn police, shitbag! She yells into a microphone. Hug the pavement! You're under arrest! As she waves her hands, you notice a familiar-looking ampules and packets sticking out of a mountain of police gear on her back. Medicine? Or drugs? Are you on drugs? Confiscated contraband! The megaphone makes her voice almost painfully metallic. Restricted access! 2 kilos missing! Eyewitness report compromised! I don't think she's on drugs, the lieutenant whispers. Being off drugs might actually be the problem here. You're not the police. We are the police. Back up! She lowers the megaphone halfway and immediately raises it again and screams, Back up! Back up! Status unconfirmed! Lieutenant W. Fredo Harry Dubois, 41st Precinct. This is my partner, Lieutenant Kitsuragi from the 57th. No! The crazed woman mumbles, shaking head. No. I thought, Mr. Morin, Gareth. Suddenly she raises the megaphone and screams, Aggravated assault! Man down! Officers in pursuit! There's a scenario unfolding in her head right now. It has nothing to do with what's actually happening here. What's the situation? The lieutenant hesitates in addressing the woman. Officer? Law enforcement compromised! She screams into the megaphone. Red and blue lights illuminate her spit flying everywhere. Impersonating a police officer! Does she actually not believe you two are police officers? I can't reach shield. If I try and take out my badge, she'll kill me. We really are cops. Look, white rectangles. License and registration! She repeatedly bashes the megaphone against her head, then screams in the bloody mouthpiece. License and registration! Come in dispatch! Sector! Azimuth! It's not code? Just disjointed words. I can't try and make that. Doesn't look good. Let's deal with this later. We can't leave. A delirious civilian is pointing a firearm at us. Your firearm. You need to solve this. Well, time to die. Failed. She's frantic, confused, teetering under all that gear. There's an opening. If you just move fast enough. If not, the lieutenant's got her on his sights. No, I know myself. I know I'm gonna fail. Sure, you're you. But how do we end this? She's not just gonna let you leave. No gun is worth the risk, or gun. Oh. I can't back away. Can I? She's a danger to herself and others. It's literally my job to make sure that she stops having that gun right now. Gun, I'm coming! Go for it. Suicide by cop! Split-second decision! Eat lead, scumbag! Oh my god! Phew. Lieutenant exhales sharply. For a moment there. I was 80% sure the gun is empty, and still the instinct almost took over. What is this? The old woman looks at the treacherous weapon. This isn't a police issue. Police weapons have bullets. This isn't real. The gun lands on the wooden planks and tears run down her scratched cheeks. Police guns always have bullets. What is this? Why did you sell me this? She looks devastated. Grab your gun right now. This might be your only chance. Done with this gun? Leave it behind forever? Huh. In my world, Harry finishes this case and never Never works another beat, another case, another file. In my world, Harry is no longer a detective after this. I mean, Kim will take it afterwards. I'm done with this gun. Leave it behind forever. Weapon still trained on the pigs, the lieutenant swiftly reaches down to snatch up the gun. No one ever cares anymore. Her voice is growing fainter as she rocks back and forth slowly. Why would they cheat me like this? This limbed and headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is grinding to a halt. Tired of walking the desert, it doesn't want to feel or think anymore. Poor woman. The lieutenant holsters his pistol. We need to figure out what to do with her now. Nobody's ever around. The old woman mumbles, staring blank at the boardwalk. Nobody ever comes to visit me. You're not alone. We're all here. The woman stands in front of you, motionless, unresponsive, almost like an inanimate object now. A mountain of police paraphernalia. In there, she's alone, trapped in a world of blue and red lights. Her children and their children, if there were any, stopped coming when it got real bad. What do you think is happening to her? She's in a stupor, the lieutenant replies, inspecting the catatonic woman standing in the dark. I've seen this before. God knows how long. Could be days when they get like this. But why was she like this in the first place? Honestly, I don't know. Dementia, probably. He lowers his voice. Dementia and Channel 8. And loneliness. Nod. Neurodegenerative disease. Could be. Agrees the lieutenant. Her hands were trembling and she did seem uncoordinated. But what are we going to do with her? What do you think is happening to her? I'm going through this part of the conversation again. Yep, you're probably right. Loneliness. It looks like a bad case. He gives the woman a compassionate look. But the question is, what to do with her right now? Is there any way out of this conversation that doesn't end in arresting her? Yeah, this is what happens when you listen to too many cop shows on the radio. That's not an empathetic option there. I think I only have the option to say, should we arrest her? I don't think there's any need for that. In her current state, and without the gun, she isn't really a threat to anyone. We could let Titus know. This is the perfect problem for the local peacekeepers to handle. They might even know her family. Wait, I was really hoping I would give one of the station call slips. Sounds like Titus is the man for the job. Kind of. I don't want to endorse the Hardy Boys' inflated sense of self-worth. They're not cops. Yeah, but they fulfill a role by virtue of not being the police that we can't by virtue of being them. Yeah, Titus sounds like the man for the job. We can ask him once we get back to the dwelling, but we have to hurry because it's already late. They might have gone home. Oh, and before we go, the lieutenant pulls out your service pistol. I believe this belongs to you. No, I'm really done with it. You keep it. Okay, but he bites his lip and mumbles under his breath. Probably couldn't change your mind anyway. Let's go then. As you turn to leave, the faintest of voices comes from the woman. Please, leave the radio on, she mutters. It seems like a reflex, a half-remembered sentence. Reflex to what? To being left alone? She stands motionless, just a heap of clothes and flashes now. Maybe if you search her once more? The woman stands, slumped. She looks catatonic under a mountain of RCM paraphernalia. Is one of those things a police cap? Pick up the RCM cap. She doesn't even flinch as you reach out to disentangle a familiar-looking lieutenant's cap from her mountain of RCM paraphernalia. Oh, is that yours? It's hard to say. It's been so long since you worn yours. Maybe? Probably? You know me. Lieutenant nods. It's your hat. Shake her shoulder. The old woman doesn't react to your touch. Confiscate the narcotics? Leave her be. Alright, what's the hat? +1 to authority, member of an organization, RCM lieutenant's hat. Cap, rather. The cap is sturdy and comfortable, and seems to retain its form well. It fits you perfectly, and inside of it smells like cheap tobacco and typewriter ink. It feels familiar somehow. Perhaps it too is yours, though how the bigs got it is a mystery. I could have pawned it as well, or she could have possibly salvaged it out of my car. It's another thing. Although, then why would she not have also taken the jacket? Wait a second. That's not where I want to be going. Loop completely back around. We'll talk to Titus, and I guess at the same time, check if the defrosting has yet occurred. Very soon we'll have the ability to put Kim to sleep, and then I can re-roll my suggestion of a date, as well as what's the other thing I need Kim going for? Is that it? I think that might be it, actually. Yeah. Pretty sure that's it. Alright. Howdy, boys. I got a case for you to solve. I'm gonna deputize each of you. In an unofficial capacity, mind. They're already gone. But that's new. You being in... Oh, that's Gaston. Got.
Hey, was there something you...
Nothing. Okay, there's just people in here that I can't really talk to, I guess. A lot of people have left as well, unfortunately. Alright, so I'll probably have to wait for tomorrow before I can talk to them. It's weird, like, you told me to come here, but there was basically no way I was going to make it here in time before they left. I don't think, at least, having gone through that whole chain. And the final thing I'm going to do is... quickly... I should also pull out the... yeah, the farm tool before I try and do this. Sorry, the farm tool, the Falsund. Nope, still no. Alright. So Evrart's done, Joyce is done. I mean, now that I've finally finished the actual full Evrart Joyce thing, maybe the wind mural has something else to say to me. Hopefully. Titus and the boys aren't there at the moment, but tomorrow in the morning they will be. I guess the other thing I want Kim to go to sleep for is then so I can go to sleep. So I can wake up in the morning and have that thing defrosted. Looks like I'm probably just going to have to read a book to end the day here. Yeah, the Feld mural just reopened. You can see it. Shiver's impossible. Hardy and the pigs. Ask Titus Hardy to take care of it. Yeah. Fair enough. All of that makes sense. You know what? I think I'm going to end out the episode by going to the mural and checking out what it has to say. Because it also feels like the mural might reopen every day. It's right, basically here, right? Okay. How much in terms of shivers have I got? I have only +1 to shivers, and that's in my coat. Okay, so I don't have to equip anything in a coat slot. This is... oh, -1 logic. Okay, fine. Makes sense. I thought it was also +1 to logic. That would actually make them the best glasses that I have, with no negative. Okay, I have to change my necktie for this at least. Some more shivers. That's all I have. Listen to the wind and... Oh, confronted the pigs. Was actually one of the things that increased it. Failure. I have to shake off that feeling. I could level up shivers. I can only level it up once, though. I don't know if I want to do that. I'm going to have to consider that between now and the next episode. Until then, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Disco Elysium. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. There's a playlist in the description down below with all my contents of the game, past, present, and future, and hopefully we'll see you next time.